high school be like if you had actual problems? Joker and I totally know what that's like. Persona 5's hero is searching for truth in a confusing sea of chaos that I totally get. The guys really loved this game, but it left me very introspective, wondering, what is lurking in the dungeon of my soul? Can I ever be rehabilitated? And why does a cat turn into a bus? I'm Julia. This is Controller Freak. We are the Phantom Thieves. We are here to take your heart, and we are going to talk about Persona 5 today.
Yes. Yes.
Guys, this is a great, very special game to all of us. I think it's fair to say that, right? Mm-hmm. Special? That's
Definitely.
The right word?
Extremely special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my favorite games of last year. Totally.
Wow. All time?
It might be in the top 5.
Okay.
Nice. Not bad.
That is a huge honor for you.
Yeah. It was quite an experience.
Yeah. And what about you, Aaron?
Oh, yeah. I had never played anything like this before.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that other people have. And I think we're sort of, I don't know. There are people who knew exactly what they were getting when they started Persona 5, and none of us did. Even though, you know, we're all gamers, 2 of us have been gamers since we were kids, we didn't really know what we were getting into here. And that made the experience all the more, like, crazy, unique. It left such an impression because I was like, what is this, you know?
What is this? Great question. And I certainly don't know anything about video games, didn't know what this was. So this is the point where we need to give a shout out to my dear friend, Ben Burkett, CPA.
Go Ben.
Woo! Accountant by day, video gamer by night, and also his off days. Anyway, Ben was like, listen, I know that you are new to video games. I know that you're trying to spend more time doing that. You really owe it to yourself to play Persona 5, and you need to get the bros on it too. And so at Owen's house one night, at Ben's insistence, we bought, I guess drunkenly, it's coming out now.
I was drunk.
Owen was drunk.
Yeah.
Aaron was drunk too, we think. We don't remember.
I don't think we were just watching Owen get smashed and being
that doesn't sound like us.
Buy a game. I think we were all drunk, probably.
Yeah.
It might have just been me. Anyway.
Owen got wasted and completely sober. I was like, we need to buy this game. Ben said so. And we did. We downloaded Persona 5 and we hit the opening credits and I think our brains collectively just exploded, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Also because the game, you sort of start off in the middle of the story, you know? Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to know what's going on, and then it slowly becomes clear to you as you play. But, yeah, it's a lot. But, I mean, I remember thinking, like, it's beautiful. The music was fantastic.
Yo.
And it's like, so this is like, so you're a high schooler, but you are also a superhero? Like, and I didn't expect it to commit to the high school life thing quite so much, you know? But I think that's what really drew me in more than anything, was like your day to day, just like being a student, surviving and like making friends.
What about, when did it hit you, Aaron? When did you get sucked in?
I mean, the whole thing is so confident. The whole thing is done so confidently that you kind of can't help but be endeared. Even if you're like, what is going on? Like, I'm watching a cartoon of like a flashy thief being like arrested by 1,000 policemen. And like, am I supposed to know what's going on? Like, I don't know. But it's so, every single element is so artful and intentional that you trust it, even though it's so weird. And you don't know what's going on for, I would say, the first maybe 15 hours of gameplay, maybe a little less. But it's just like you're just being led along, and you let it because every element is so beautifully rendered.
And it's written in a language that I'm not familiar with, but I was really endeared to.
Totally. Yeah, I wouldn't want it to be, I mean, I think it's obvious that some of it is translation stuff. Some of it is like, this makes sense in Japanese, and in English it sounds super weird, and this is the closest they could get. But the voice actors are all pretty good.
Yes.
And B, I wouldn't want it to be localized any better.
No.
Because I don't think you could. But also, it would lose some of its beautiful, like, weird flavor.
Yeah.
It's part of the game's fun is hearing Ryuji say for real, like, 4,000 times.
Or that you're looking cool, Joker.
Right.
Yeah, so many great lines to choose from that are like English-esque.
Yeah.
But they're perfect, they're uniquely Persona. It has a touch of like, it has the tone of an old person trying to use cool lingo, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's really endearing in that sense.
How does Ryuji say for real?
For real?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, alright, let's kick things off. When Persona opens, it's the year 20XX. And you are a voiceless protagonist, and you're in trouble for stopping a rape. So you got kicked out of your school, and your parents sent you away to live with someone they kind of know. Does that sound like the beginning? That's kind of it, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
So so you're staying at this guy who is, at first he's a real grump. He calls you a troublesome kid all the time. Yeah. He seems like it's just a pain in his ass to have you around. He thinks you're a criminal because, again, you committed the awful crime of stopping a rape. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem like a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like kind of a brat. He takes you in, but very begrudgingly. And he's like, I guess I'll send you to school. I guess you can eat dinner. Like, basic needs that kids need. It's like, thanks, I guess.
Right.
And you're on probation. So we get the timeline, which is like a year of being in this other town that you're not familiar with,
right,
and in a new school.
Yeah.
Right. So we meet, Joker I think that's his only name, right?
His name is whatever you decide, but people call him Joker.
We should point that out. You get to name your Joker. Aaron, who did you name your Joker?
I attempted to, the opposite of anglicize my name so that it was plausible that I was a Japanese high schooler. So I did Arrow Berton. Which, I think betrays how little I know about Japanese culture.
Yeah, that's pretty Anglo.
Which also made this game so much more exciting to me was all of the different little pieces of Japanese culture that are in there, and they don't attempt to explain because it's your world.
Yeah, this is what curry looks like.
Exactly. And so that was part of it. And so I was glad that I had made the effort because it was all about culture for me.
Totally. Absolutely. This game is a really great culture shock.
It mirrors the shock of, like, a young man or woman becoming an adult and becoming someone who's capable of controlling their fate for the first time, too. Because as you get into the game, you're learning, I have all this power that I didn't think I have, and I have all these connections with people that are independent of any family. It's just I've made a relationship with this person. You have all these different responsibilities, like I gotta water this plant or else I'm not truly kind. You've got all these different places you can go. The subway map sort of opens up and you're like, wow, I live in a huge metropolis. I can do anything I want to tonight. It's so cool how that power and responsibility, both metaphysical and like very mundane, sort of flowers.
It throws you right back into your teenage years, doesn't it? Like tonally, like the fear and promise of what 17 felt like, kind of.
Yeah, or 20, we're like 22.
Some of us are late bloomers, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like moving to New York for the first time, and being like, there is so much out there, and there are so many people out there that I have to choose my time. I have to choose what I'm going to do. And do I often choose poorly? Yes. But that freedom that you're right, that is a specific feeling. Yeah.
I mean, I hated it. I was like, oh.
Why did you hate it?
Because those days are gone, never to return. And it's a sort of sad, sentimental experience to play through, the feeling of being a teenager again and be like, they should make an adult counter to this game of when Joker grows up and he's like 30 and then he's just in chains, metaphorical chains the whole time in his soul dungeon. Did you get that?
The soul dungeon?
Yeah.
I think you should explain further what you mean.
that's my experience of being adult going back and playing as a teenager.
Oh, I see.
Is what I'm saying.
I see. So it made you sort of long for those days in a way? Or like, why am I revisiting this again?
Long for them with a side of fuck this game.
Got it. Okay.
What's the point? Mm-hmm. Right? No. You look confused.
What do you mean fuck this game? Why do you say fuck this game? You love this game, I know for a fact.
Yeah, I do, but I think it depends on your relationship with your younger you, because in a way, it feels like you doing those things, right? So I guess all I'm saying is that I was a sad teenager. Oh. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but these are all sad teenagers too.
No. And we'll get there. We'll get to it. But like, they have the opportunity to go into their soul dungeon and like fix things and like, rehabilitate, reawaken their soul. And like, so they're on a corrective course to like tap into the things that they need to in order to fight their demons. Mm-hmm. And that just seems like something not every teenager gets a chance to do. So I was like, oh, that's sweet. Bittersweet.
Yeah. So you're jealous in a way.
Yeah, totally.
You didn't experience these things when you were
There was no
their
Igor.
age.
There was no Igor when I was a kid. And there was no metaverse.
Are you sure
Well,
about
yeah,
that?
more importantly, that you didn't have smartphones, and so you couldn't
Yeah.
even access the metaverse if you wanted to.
Totally. And I didn't have a cool attic bedroom with like, no one bothered me.
Yeah. Sure, that is your space, in that game.
Totally.
I feel like people bother you all the time. I feel like you're always getting texts from, and your cat is like, you got a text. Like,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Should you really be doing that right now?
All right. So just to cut a few plot points in here so that we can get to the real meat of what's going on in this game. You get a mysterious app on your phone. It's an eyeball. Over time, you open it. You learn what it can do. You learn that you have a magical ability to go into this alternate reality called the metaverse. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you're starting at Shujin Academy. You will meet a bunch of people collectively who will go on these journeys with you into the metaverse. And you will learn that it is your mission, I guess, to change people's hearts, to take the people who are, terrorizing people or bullying people or abusing people and make them change their mind about how they see the world and the things they're gonna do. So, I guess where do we start with that? Like
so you could call it a dungeon, palace, whatever you want, metaverse, compound that you enter. Yeah. You're basically trying to steal the heart of this, like, is he a volleyball coach or what?
Yeah,
volleyball, right?
Yeah.
Kamoshida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is involved with students in a highly inappropriate manner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you see in the metaverse, he's like this grotesque, nasty creature that eventually you have to fight in a boss battle. But that I felt like that was when I was like, oh, wow.
It's a tough way to start the game.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it could turn off a lot of people. Yeah. Certainly not us.
No, we were all about it.
Yeah.
I do think that is a really effective way of introducing the whole conceit, though, because when someone would say, like, the idea of this game is that these teenagers, these people who aren't quite adults yet, have this rebellious viewpoint of adults, and they see all of this evil and like hypocrisy and like sin. I feel like that's a wonderful like encapsulation of that idea, is these teens who can see that this teacher is so full of like lust and full of himself that he thinks he can do whatever. And so he's having all of these super inappropriate desires and he's acting on them in this school that he's basically taken over. And I think it's like a wonderful, and then the Phantom Thieves sort of blow up from there, and then they're taking on local figures, and then they're taking on national figures, But I think that's a wonderful way for them to start, is to see up close, this guy is abusing his power, and it's hurting people. and we have to stop it.
Yeah. And if that's where we're starting, it's like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, that's a good point. You start big and then you almost get more,
It becomes more of like an epic sort of typical superhero story when it's like you get drawn into this like giant, plot involving like politicians and like mysterious murders and just, it's a long game. There's a lot. There's a lot that happens.
We're not even talking about the cutaways to your prosecutor.
Oh, right.
I mean, you're being held and interrogated, basically, in a cutscene.
Yeah.
Because all of this is a flashback, right?
Most
of it. Yeah.
A lot of the game
until a point
is framed by this framing device of you've been captured by the police and you're being interrogated by this woman, Sainijima, who is trying to get the truth out of you, and you're recounting, 8 months of your life that then you're also playing, and so,
I find it hard to believe that high schoolers could have pulled off these crimes by themselves.
And of course, the guy you meet first is Ryuji Sakamoto. Does that name sound familiar to you guys?
Everybody hates him the whole game. Everyone just dumps on him constantly, and honestly, I get why. I get it. He was never my favorite. That's for sure.
You're anti-Ryuji.
He's just like so unstable, and like you can't bring him anywhere. Like he's just gonna ruin everything all the time.
I get it.
I was pretty pro Ryuj just because I agree with all the things you're saying. He is completely undependable, but the thing is he has been shit on for his whole life, and like,
well, who hasn't though?
Right?
Well, sure, but I feel like of all the people in the game, he can't depend on anybody. And you being that dependable guy for him, it was rewarding for me. Because at the end of the game, he keeps being like, this isn't like me, but thanks, man. And he says it like 6-7 times if you like follow his personal story through, to the point where you're like, you love me, man. You can't, even though you're embarrassed by it, I am the guy who like saved you here. And that's true of all these people to some extent. But with him, I was like, it's just you and your mom. You're taking care of her. You get the sense that like you're cooking dinner a lot and stuff like that. He needed you.
For real?
For real?
For real?
You're right. He is a little piece of
And he draws, as we found, a hard line at saying the F word.
Yes. Yes.
He will say, he'll swear, but
Persona 5 will use any curse word. And they introduce Ryuji as Vulgar Boy.
Right, that's
but
right.
It turns out that Vulgar Boy has a problem with saying fuck. He can't say it.
Yeah, he always says effing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you get stuff like, what is this effing shit? And it's like, Ryuji, like, what's
so
your...
interesting. You
He's
won't
just like
go
a
there.
weird prude.
What the F is this?
What the F is this shit? This asshole needs to get effed up. It's like he's stuck in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty neutral about Ryuji. He's fine.
Don't really care.
Yeah, I have no strong feelings on him.
Okay, so moving on.
Moving on. Next.
I think we've given him enough attention.
I think I've given him too much, honestly, for what it is. I think next you meet Morgana, because you go into the palace with Ryuji.
Uh-huh. Yeah, who I thought was a girl for a long time.
Oh, everyone did.
And is voiced by a woman.
Right.
So like,
Her name is Morgana.
Yep.
And,
Again, shout out to Ben for correcting me on
Mona.
numerous occasions.
Yeah.
It was indeed a man. And not a cat. Don't call him a cat.
Spoiler alert. Right?
what?
Well,
Spoiler
only
alert.
in so much that...
He's...
Okay.
Was that premature?
Full disclosure.
Let's do this.
Full disclosure.
Cards on the table.
Okay. Owen is the only one of us who finished this fucking game.
It's too long.
Okay? I tried my best.
I actually just spoiled it for you guys, didn't I? Is that what I did?
I have no idea. Okay, do you mind if I medium spoil this for you and then Owen spoils it for both of us?
That's fine.
Okay, where I am right now, Mona has been revealed to be an agent of Igor, who was created in the Velvet Room. And so I just assumed that he was just some figment that indeed wasn't a human. He was just some figment, and who knows what's going to happen to him after we win.
I mean, it's not anything really more complicated than that. I wouldn't call him a cat necessarily.
He is a man. Go ahead, spoil it.
No, I'm not even gonna say, because it's too, if you're asking, like, do you ever see him as a human? The answer is no. No.
Okay.
I was sure he was going to turn into some jacked dude who just, like, makes sweet love to An.
Yeah.
No, he's very horny. But,
yeah, he's super horny.
Yeah.
For what you're saying, he's a little horny boy?
Because Morgana the
what
cat has like a fixation on another one of your teammates who we'll get to.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Named On Takamaki,
Yeah.
who's like this, very picturesque blonde girl. And so Julia's idea was that he would be transformed into like a Stallone in the 70s like cut dude. And then he would like immediately
you would
start
walk
making
in on
love
them
to
like
Anne.
fucking.
Right.
And it would be super depressing for Joker.
Because Joker was in love with her too, but like too bad.
Yeah.
Morgana got there first. Too bad.
So you're saying that doesn't happen?
That doesn't happen?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
If you want, Panther, we could, go on an evening stroll together sometime.
This game allows you to, so you're a high school student, right? Mm-hmm. You have one teacher who is like, she's pretty. She's like got a nice thing, but she's like always down in the dumps. She's a real bummer. And you learn later that reason is because, for personal reasons, she has a second job as a sexy for hire maid.
Yeah.
That you and your bros find out about. You don't know that she's working there. You call them up, and all of a sudden, you are face to face with your teacher in sexy maid outfit, and she will do anything to keep it quiet.
And she gives you just good perks the more you hang out with her. Like you can just slack off in her class and like build a birdhouse or something if you want, right? Which like increases your proficiency, boosts your stats, It's great. You gotta hang out with her as much as you can.
But, like Aaron was saying, you do have to invest the time in her, because boy, is she in some trouble, and
money.
she needs your help.
She needs your help and your fucking money.
and your
She
fucking
needs your
money, master.
And I feel like there was no point where I loved Persona more, or the game was more Persona-ish than like when I had just seen my teacher being a sexy maid. She called me alone into her office and was like, "I need you to keep this quiet. Do you want me to get your number? Here's my number." And then my cat was like, "Way to go!" My cat popped out of my bag and was like, "All right." I was like, "This game is never going to get better than this."
Yeah.
And then you call her up and you pay her like $500 a pop to like clean your room in her little outfit.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on here? Like, is what's happening between us? And she's avoiding that question, and like, it's
really weird.
That's like Persona 5 in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a pretty good snapshot of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I stopped investing in Becky after I had to visit her in the hospital.
How could you stop
Because
then?
she got exhausted from working all her, like, maid jobs, and she was worried that she was going to have to escalate
She's working like
to...
3 jobs.
Yeah, she's working as a teacher, she's working as a maid, and then she's considering working as a prostitute.
I'm your student! I'm 17.
Yeah.
You are not 17, Becky.
That's true.
Are you there's no grown male that can help you with this problem?
Nope.
Or grown female who can help you?
Nope.
Why Joker? Why be a predator? I guess is my question.
That is right.
It's predatory. Like
that's a
let's
whole
be
other
clear.
question, is why Kamoshida has like distorted desires and a policy you have to go fix, but Becky is just a hottie.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Yeah, because it's Persona, we'll give it to
Phantom
them.
Thieves don't need to touch this one.
She is distorted.
Yeah.
I like to take her heart.
Yeah.
I'll show my appreciation by making it easy for you to ditch class.
Let's talk about Aunt Takamaki, okay? Because after you meet Morgana, you meet Aunt Takamaki at school. Mm-hmm. And I have some thoughts about her, but I think you guys should go first. She's the worst, right? We can all agree.
I mean,
Ann is very kind. Lady Ann's so kind.
She's she's like one of the first companions you get. Like, it feels like she's part of the original team.
Yeah, sure.
She's just so kind that it was hard for me to... Look, okay, my Joker was in love with Lady Ann. You guys can think what you want. He met her...
No, mine was too, but it was like...
Yeah, but you regret it seems like.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm picturing your Joker in, like, 20 years as, like, Don Draper with, like, Betty being like, Ann,
What are you talking about? What? You're hysterical, Alan.
Joker, were you with someone?
Alan, you're hysterical. I feel like I'm living with a little girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Comic-y.
Right. So that sounds like that's the dark future that your Joker is maybe headed toward.
I mean, like, I just think that she's so rude. Like, she's just, like, kind of bitchy in one of those, like, ways where she's trying to be subtle bitchy, but, like, you can read it. She doesn't wear her uniform properly at Shujin, which I find really disrespectful.
Wow.
I find it so disrespectful. Wow. She wears, like, a hoodie and, like, a dress and then, like, red tights, and, like, that's not the uniform, and it's so disrespectful to the academy, to all the other students. The point of a uniform is to just, like, level the playing field. You know, you're not supposed to bring your own flair into that, because it's gonna like ruin the structure that's been set up for you to develop within. The way she complains about her model. I mean, look, we could go on. We won't. I've got 4 more pages here.
My hair. I hope it doesn't rain.
Next is Yusuke. I have strong feelings about him too. Wait, did I enjoy this game? I'm not sure I liked anyone in this game. He's the worst. He's the Kanye West of the game. He's just always talking about his
how
art.
Is he
and
the
like
Kanye West of the game? You're gonna have to explain
Okay,
that.
alright. My friend Ted does a really good impression of Yusuke saying things that Kanye has said.
Like?
You know, like, I didn't vote, but had I voted, it would have been for Trump. And it makes sense when you think about it, right?
That's
you
so
can
stupid.
add that up. Totally. Yusuke West is what we've been calling him.
I was okay with him. He didn't irritate me as much as some of the other characters. I feel like he's kind of just doing his own thing. He's like in his own little world in his head. I thought he was kind of a different sort of energy on your team.
You could say that.
You know? And I was alright with that.
That's a good point. I actually didn't think about that he has he balances things a little bit by it being
he's one of the less whiny ones of them.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't find him whiny?
He gets whiny about weird stuff like like if you end your hot pot without udon, or like I did like the subplot that he was starving, that he was always like starving,
and he doesn't have like 200 yen to ride the metro, so you always have to give him money to get on the train to come and fight demons with you.
Yeah.
Like, Yusuke, are you serious, bro?
And he's like, I apologize, I will budget money for the metro next time. And it was like, yeah, I did like that.
That
subplot.
really pissed me off. And I guess that brings us to Makoto Nijima. Are we ready?
Loved her.
I think we're ready.
I felt like she had my back a lot of the time. She has to do a lot of really tough shit involving like her sister, like stealing her sister's files and shit. She's, she's very like pragmatic about things. You have to pretend to be your boyfriend at one point, which Aaron's shaking his head right now at all this.
I'm sorry, continue. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Look, I don't hate her, but to just take another thing that I know that Ted, your friend, has said, she's a pill.
Yeah,
and you know why?
That.
She's a pain. Okay, she won't even fucking hang out with you. She'll say it's a waste of her time unless you are a certain degree smart. And then you'll like hang out with her a little bit, and then that double date that you were talking about, where you have to like see what's up with a friend, you can't go on that double date unless you are the charmingest dude possible.
Yeah,
sounds like someone who wasn't charming enough.
You know what? But that's part of the game, though.
Which involves taking like about 50 baths. 50 public baths as a teenager.
That's
spending
right.
every Thursday in the public bath
you didn't
with
like
your balls out.
You
in
didn't
front
enjoy
of an old man.
You didn't enjoy your time at the bathhouse.
No, you drop trout.
I think there are a lot of interesting older men there.
Old men, fucking steamy baths. Your cat's there, and he's like, "Whoa, you're so handsome." And I'm like, "Fucking, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to go on a double date because Makoto will not defend me in front of a friend who thinks I'm not handsome."
You can do other things besides go to the bathhouse, though, to boost up your charm, right? Like, doesn't your charm boost if you like work at the flower shop a lot?
That's not my point. And that's your kindness, by the way, I think.
Kindness. You're right. I'm so sorry.
It was
tough to get all these straight.
You can watch a charming movie. You can watch a charming movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's really unforgivable that you don't associate flowers automatically with charm instead of kindness.
Yeah. I just remember working at that flower shop a lot to boost a stat, but it must have been kindness, right?
Yeah.
And that's like if you watered your plant too, right? It boosts your kindness.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
So
ridiculous.
Anyway, my point is that I don't think Makoto has my back. I like her, but I think she judges me, and I don't think that's cool.
I think in the early on maybe, but doesn't that kind of change the further you go? But
Maybe I didn't get far enough, but no, I think even when I became debonair enough, I was like, I'd take fucking 3 weeks of baths just so I could do you the service of going on this double date with you to help your friend who I don't care about.
Yeah, no, she's in a difficult situation that she should get out
baths
of.
are good for you, though. You know?
Especially mugwort baths.
Look, I
was
get it.
taking every week.
And if you go when it's like raining or something, it like doubles your...
Yeah, it doubles.
Because there's less like salty old dudes if it's raining out. Listen, I didn't love Makoto. She was fine. I liked her.
Look, I'm with you. I didn't get it until I did.
Ooh.
And I remember just having, I guess you could say, a change of heart.
Oh.
If I'm being honest. I guess really what we should talk about now is Futaba Sakura.
Futaba.
And I think we all really loved her. And her story really touched my heart. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, and it was it's such an interesting, like, different kind of, dungeon / palace thing for her. You know? Like, this is someone that you're doing it more to help her, really,
right.
more than, like, defeat her, you
right.
know?
Right.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that changing her heart, she wants her heart to be changed, but it's too much to overcome for her alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, Futaba opens up so much, because meeting Futaba, you are also like, oh, that's why the guy who I live with now is super weird and like grumpy all the time and like fussy. It's because he's got this effective daughter who is constantly bewildering him, and he loves her so much, but he doesn't know how to help her, you know? And that really opens up that relationship for you. You make sense as like a threesome in a way that you didn't as just you and him.
You
know?
become a family.
You become a family. And it's because you help Futaba. I love Futaba. It's great.
And then you doesn't she want you to like take her to Radio Shack or something?
Yeah, she's scared of
scared
of GameStop.
Multiple
She's scared.
times.
Yeah.
It's basically like the New York Macy's, but it's in Japan and it's all Radio Shack. It's like a Macy's-sized Radio Shack in downtown Japan.
Before we move on to talk about other stuff, are there any other people, characters you guys need to mention to make sure we don't forget to talk about how important they are to you?
I mean, we covered Becky.
We talked about Becky, that's right.
I feel like we haven't talked about Becky enough.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So we're talk more about Becky. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Master. Can we just say Becky's?
Are you serious?
Yes, Becky's exuberant lines have implanted in my head. She's like top 3. Because you hear voices in your head after you play Persona for long enough, you hear the voices of Persona characters. And the top 3 for me are probably Ryuji, Morgana, and Becky. I hear Morgana telling me to do things, or telling me I didn't do something good, or that I have time to do one more of something,
right?
Yeah.
Or that Ann looks hot,
or that Ann is looking great today.
Meowvelous, I think is the word.
So beautiful! What a meowvelous, beautiful girl! I hear that. I hear Ryuji being like, "What the effing shit?" Like, for real? And I hear Kawakami, Becky. I hear Becky just going like, "Thank you for using our services. Bye." I hear Kawakami in my head, not even in appropriate moments, just, I hear her sing-song voice taunting me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right, you do get stuck with voices.
I hear Sojiro a lot. Futaba?
You hear Boss?
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Who do you hear, Julia?
I don't hear anyone.
Really?
Yeah.
Julia doesn't really like this game.
I think I don't love this game, if I'm being honest.
Not true at all, you do.
I think you're lying. Yeah.
I hear the songs, and let's just talk about the music. I get the music stuck in my head daily.
Yeah.
Even when I hadn't played it in several months.
No,
I would
amazing.
Wake up, get up there.
I still listen to it on my phone.
Oh man,
Totally.
It's so good. None of us expected it to be that good.
No.
Like, it infects you.
It infects you. Yeah.
And listening to Behind the Mask, like walking around New York, is just so, after you spend 30 hours walking around Tokyo listening to it, it feels very right, and you feel very good doing that.
Very comfortable.
Comfortable and also, like, supported.
Yeah.
I guess next I have that we should talk about the palaces. We should just say, we should just say what we liked, what we didn't like.
So taxing, those dungeons, too. Like, when you get to a safe room and you're like, how much more do we have to go? And Morgana's like, we're not even halfway through yet. You're like, fuck me. Are you fucking kidding me?
You better be fucking kidding me.
Our progress, and Morgana's just like, well, you're gonna have to play this game for the rest of your life. You paid $60, and goddamn it, is it gonna be worth it?
Yeah. Hope you got more coffee power-ups for your, for your SP.
I hope you made Becky make you enough coffee.
Yeah.
And I hope you made Becky give you a special massage so you can keep doing stuff after you get home.
Right.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's like the top of the mountain perk that you get from her. That's like...
You gotta be really good friends with your teacher for you to get a secret massage.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I guess what you're saying a little bit feeds into my next question, I guess, which is like, in terms of gameplay mechanics, what was really frustrating for you? And it sounds like we can all agree on, like, save points are few and far between.
I love this game. And a lot of the mechanics, even the annoying ones, are part of the game in a way that I would never want to change, you know?
Yeah.
And one example of that is that every character says every plot point 14 times.
I was just gonna say, actually, too many text thread conversations on your phone of just like all your friends being like, I'm so worried about what's gonna happen tomorrow, and you're like, oh my god, we've been over this. Like too much of that, like, oh my god.
Or like literally you'll find out that a button does something in a palace and you will go through every single person who's with you, which is like 8 people. And they're all like, so switching this turns this blue. And in this case, like, from red to blue, of course. And then it goes over to, and it's just like, I just spent 10 minutes learning a single piece of information that I already understood.
I forget what point, it's a point later on in the game where like Morgana is explaining like a ton of plot stuff to you. And he can literally, like, in the middle of it, he can be like, there's more to say, but we can come back to this later.
And you're like,
do you really want to go through this now?
Let's not, I got it.
Because, like, I know it's been a lot so far, and, like, you might be a little sick of exposition, but, you know, we can come back to it later.
Because we didn't get through all of it.
Right.
You need to understand, like, a lot more about it.
You're like, it's an extremely convoluted plot, Joker. And, you know. Yeah.
So there's that. I love it, too, because it is so Persona-y, and, like, it draws things out in a kind of a charming way, but it's also insufferable.
You love it all, warts and all.
Right. The other thing is also to do with conversations, and it's the fact that so you do have dialogue options.
Oh, this is mine.
Game.
Yeah,
you
took
yours?
mine.
Why don't you do it? Because it's the same thing that I have, I'm sure.
Joker's dialogue options are all the same.
Yeah.
They're different ways of saying the same thing.
Okay, so like 90% of the time, and this is a pet peeve of mine too, is like, they'll be like, we gotta do it, right, Joker? And your choices are like, yeah, or like, sure, or like, ... It's like, though, every so often, and I didn't have the balls to do any of these, every so often...
Did you not have dauntless guts?
I didn't have dauntless guts to do this. Every so often, there is a dialogue choice that, like, exposes Ryuji as a phantom thief to the cops, or like... Or like you can tell somebody to get bent or something. It's like every so often there is a really, really like off dialogue choice. And whenever I was given that choice, I was like, oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not Joker.
You do have a choice. Don't you have a choice with Sai later on whether or not to expose your friends as the Phantom Thieves? Like she's like, and obviously you wouldn't give them away.
No.
I certainly didn't.
No, but I wonder what happens. I wonder if it matters. Probably not. It doesn't matter.
And I guess that's kind of one of my bigger, like, more abstract grievances, is just that it makes you feel like you have all this autonomy, but really you're just on a track. And I guess I wanted it to make more of a decision, like, make that clear, or really give some more freedom. You know, it's a lot of...
I mean, the freedom of the game is how you choose to spend your time.
But not... But kind of not. There are things you have to do.
No, but I mean, you build up, you know, your character and your perks in certain ways, you know?
Yeah.
There's
but
variation
you have to
on
max
that.
out all of your things. You know, it's not...
No, you don't.
Sure you do.
No, it's not...
You don't have to.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, you could end the game not having spent
Like, I didn't
any
have
time.
Dauntless Guts.
Yeah. You never got Dauntless Guts?
No, I never got Dauntless Guts.
Yeah. Oh. And that's okay, because the only thing that affects is whether you can become friends with the gun shop.
Right, if you can buy
Who's
guns.
super creepy.
Right.
Are you kidding? He's so hot. And why? I have such a crush on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But his perks
you should be
didn't...
grateful.
Yeah.
That guy?
Grateful. Yeah.
Oh, he's so hot.
If you just want, like, your guns to be super jacked up.
I
hang out with him. I barely did it.
I became his friend, and I still don't understand how to modify
Well, he
that.
starts asking you to do, like, shady things for him, right? Like, you gotta go meet with this dude in a warehouse or something, right? Yeah. Or, like, go to the back room, right? Like, make this deal.
He's selling illegal model guns.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
right,
always
everything's,
hits you
all the
up.
guns are model guns.
Right.
Yeah. He calls you gun enthusiast.
Right.
Because you're a
right.
gun enthusiast.
Hey,
I
gun
guess.
enthusiast.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah,
gun
model
enthusiast.
guns.
Like, you get a text from him, like, ugh, what do
Yeah.
you want?
This guy.
That is an amazing part
This
of this
fucking
game.
jackass.
Is like different people who like you are like medium friends with.
Yeah.
Like blowing up your phone all the time.
Yeah.
Like I do love like this high schooler, right?
Yeah.
Who has all this stuff going on both in the physical and metaphysical worlds. Getting like text from like his hot doctor being like, time for a checkup.
Right. Or this, like, you can, like, start hanging out with this, like, reporter that just sits that just hangs out at this bar all the time, and she'll text you and be like, if you want to come meet me at this bar, I got some time.
Just a subject line, I'm thirsty for news.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy is
Yeah.
irresistible.
I did love working at the bar, though, and listening to people's problems, even though I think it was, like, technically you're not even allowed to serve anybody because you're underage.
Right, you're just a therapist.
But
basically.
I think you build up your charm that way, right? And, like...
I was gonna do a, like, most despicable adult, like, that you can befriend segment, but we're kind of all there. Like, OSHA is kind of the worst.
Yeah, we're basically
She's,
there.
like, an alcoholic, and she just, like, her relationship with you is very weird, and, like,
Right.
she wants to meet in a bar all the time. And,
Yeah.
like,
I think you can date her too.
totally,
which is
you
super
absolutely
weird.
can.
so weird.
Not a good dresser. She's, like, very frumpy looking all the time. It's unclear why she exists. Did anybody know? Did either of you get to, like, the maximum?
No, I never, no. I didn't max out with her.
No, the end of my game was like the last like 10 days were like that kid in the arcade and like her just like blowing up my phone day after day and me being like, I'm not going to spend. I would rather go take another bath.
Yeah.
One thing I found really affecting is that it was really hard for me to relate to, because if the thesis of this game is adults suck and they, like, can't be trusted, that is, like, the opposite of, like, who I was as a child and a teenager. It was just, like, blind faith and blind trust and, like, you know, blind submission to, like, this is not who I was in high school. Like, if someone asked me to join the Phantom Thieves, I would have been like, oh, no.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
I'll bet you were more like Makoto than you think.
But without the grades. You know, like, I was like a shitty Makoto.
Well, no, but still.
It was like
You didn't have good grades?
They were okay. Mm-hmm. You know, the best you could do after a Steiner education.
But they weren't Makoto level.
They were not. I was not valedictorian.
Yeah, but I bet you would have been like, I don't trust these Phantom Thieves, and then they would have sort of dragged.
I mean, that was drama club. Like, I had my own Phantom Thieves, like, and we did, like, the Crucible together. It was fine.
Totally.
But, like, you know, anything that, like, changing the system and, like, isolating things as, like, bad, like, and knowing that and feeling, like, morally responsible for fixing them, that's, like, not an emotion that I would have had then. In that world, in, like, high school, when it's very sheltered in a way. And
Totally. I would have been too shy to join the Phantom Thieves, I'm sure.
Too what? Unpopular?
Shy.
Oh, shy.
Yeah, unpopular too. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Totally. But not cool unpopular like Joker, you know?
Right, like, he's cool. He's, like, a cool loner.
Joker's super cool.
Yeah. I have a big crush on Joker. It's absolutely.
Although, how did he learn of mementos? Perhaps he is even more special than we had anticipated.
Mementos was the worst, and I'm so glad I don't have to do it if I don't want to.
You do.
Is what I'm saying.
Have to
I don't want to.
You literally have to.
Are you
literally
serious?
have to.
Yeah.
If you plan on
I've
finishing
been ignoring it since I started this game 90 hours ago.
That's gonna make it so fucking awful.
Yeah.
It's gonna make it
like,
really hard.
Why should I care? I don't care. It's like, I have to go help people, and the things are under the subway, and it's gross, and Mona turns into a
Mementos
bus.
is like the thing.
The song is great.
At least
don't
with
get me
Mementos,
wrong.
I don't know. The thing
The music is
that
great.
made Mementos a little easier, I felt, was that the bad guys you fight are like pretty easy, depending on when you go in there. So like if you finish a palace, you're gonna be real high level, and the Mementos guys will seem like nothing if you do that after. And you just need like one evening to devote to that, and you can just...
Do I have an evening? I don't know,
Yeah,
Persona. Are you gonna fuck me around into afternoon of the next day and then
You can cover a lot of ground in one night.
What did you spend all of your time doing?
I don't know.
No, like literally. It sounds like you went to movies a lot.
I went to movies.
Which I love the movies. I love the like weird parodies of like Les
Les
Mis and like The Walking Dead and like.
Yeah, the Les Mis one was
So
amazing.
You watched some movies. What else did you do?
Did you rent DVDs and forget to bring them
I
back?
watched
Can we talk about that for a quick second, though?
Go,
Because that was my favorite thing, because I want to know what happens if you fuck this up repeatedly, because the first time I remember I rented a DVD, didn't take it back for like months, and then I finally brought it back, because I think I was like, oh yeah, you should probably return this. Yeah, oh no. And I took it back, and they were like, okay, you owe like 75,000 yen, and I was like, I don't have it. And he was like, okay, I'll let it slide this once. So I want to know what happens if you do it again and you go back. Does he also let it slide if you can't pay for it a second time? Like, I want to know.
You probably have to change his heart.
Yeah. It's like an extra optional dungeon for the DVD store guy. Yeah.
Just a card catalog palace.
Right, and he's like a good guy.
Yeah, he's like, please
he's
don't.
like, I'll lose my job if I don't get the money.
When you're
from
done,
he
he forgets who his grandkids
Yeah.
are.
Right.
It's
He's
so
like,
sad.
really fucked
It's
up.
really
Yeah,
sad.
so just
But
remember,
also,
DVDs,
don't play
you
this
know.
game. Fuck this game. Putting on your backpack takes a whole afternoon, and then you won't be able to like have dinner. It's
Julia, what happened to you in this game?
No, I don't. It's a lot of hurry up and wait, is what I'm saying.
I took
What?
I took literally 150 baths in this game.
Yeah,
and
and
I
you
still
still had
plenty
time.
of free time.
That would have maybe mine was broken and time moved differently in the version that I got.
Yeah, yours was broke.
I don't think that's what happened.
I would really love if we went on to like Atlus.com or like whatever Atlus's website is, and they were like,
Time is moving too fast.
in a small portion of Persona discs. It is impossible to do anything except for watch movies and eat at Big Bang Burger.
Yeah.
Everything else you can't do.
Yes! Thank you! Yeah, I think that I have a glitch. Okay, so there's a bug in my Persona. We figured it out.
Wow, that's so sad.
I have three
That explains
closing
a lot.
questions.
Yeah.
I have three closing questions to
Okay.
present us
And then we'll
all
never
with.
speak of this game.
And then
we're-
we're just not going to talk
We're
about this
gonna
game
wake up,
again.
we're gonna get up, and then we're gonna get out.
I don't even know if I can listen to that song anymore. Now that I'm thinking about this game, it's not that good.
Wow.
Who am I?
You never know where this conversation's going to go.
Okay, all right, but there's still plenty. There's still plenty that's endearing. There's still plenty to talk about. My first question for all of us is something that I have an answer for. What commonplace thing will your brain never process normally again, thanks to Persona 5?
DVD rentals.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
A lot of everything. Persona touches everything, and this isn't really every day, but it's the thing where it's most like, I can't think of that without thinking of Persona now, is food challenges. Like competitive eating, or like at a restaurant, like, can you eat this huge thing? If you can, you get a t-shirt. I always thought those were like gross, and like I would never want to do them. In Persona, made me see them as like character building exercises that your cat will love you for.
You can like eat a huge burger.
Yeah, exactly. You eat a huge burger, and like your cat's like, I love the way you eat.
Does that happen? I didn't do that.
Yeah. When you eat the biggest burger, he's like, I admire the way you eat so much, and like,
Look,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I will never process the names Justine or Caroline.
You mean Justine and
normally
Caroline?
ever again. I physically can't say them that way anymore.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of that way too.
All right, question number 2. And this is an important one. I hope you guys took your time with this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say your soul gets awakened. Who is your persona and what is in his or her magical bag of tricks?
I imagine for me, like a Jewish, like really jacked up like, monkey named like Herschel Axelbaum or something. And it's like, Herschel Axelbaum! And he's got like, I don't know. He's got a big two-handed broadsword. He definitely has healing spells, because healing spells are fucking crucial in the personas.
Totally.
Like you want your personas to have healing spells. So
yeah.
I would want that. But yeah. Like, big, really ripped monkey with, like, maybe a Jufro and, like...
Owen is
Yeah.
Jewish. We're just gonna put that out here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
So it's all cool.
It's fine for us
Yeah.
to laugh
So
at that.
he can do like a dreidel thing. And like,
Yeah.
Ripped Jewish monkey, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
awesome. That's
buddy.
awesome.
You really outdid yourself.
Thank you.
Herschel Axelbaum
Yeah.
is a hero.
That's hardcore. I can't live up to that. I can't beat that. The only thing that I could think of was, if you know me well, you know that I get really mad when people aren't courteous on the sidewalk and they don't let you pass correctly. If two people are walking abreast and you're coming the other way and they don't like get into single file, I'll get like a murderous rage in me.
Yeah.
And generally when people aren't polite, I get like, it's not like a nice thing. I get like angry at them to a point where it's like, it's malicious. And so my persona is named, the Courteous Colonel. And so I would be like, Courteous Colonel! And then, he's like a full, like jacked, like, he also jacked, military, like, dude, and he has a ruler that he can smack enemies with if they do anything uncouth, like if they attack you, or if they cast a spell on you.
Courteous Colonel. I like that.
Courteous Colonel!
Yeah, it sounds like Captain Kidd a little bit.
Yeah, Captain Kidd! Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of Ryuji influence there. I can see.
Totally.
Okay.
Also a military man.
Herschel Axelbaum and the Courteous Colonel.
Yeah, totally.
I would put both you guys on my team.
What about you?
You know, and look, I'm just thinking if a persona is a part of your personality that takes over when the stakes are very high, or, you know, something in your frame of reference that helps you through a really tough moment, then my persona is definitely Ben Burkett in accounting. And he's a super accountant. And he comes to life and he does your taxes and he audits the enemy and he finds that they were cheating on last year's taxes, and then you get to soak them for all their yen.
Wow.
And so you don't win, you know, like, but you come out really cash heavy.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
you know.
I didn't see that one coming.
That's very sweet.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out
I
to
only
Ben.
played
Yeah.
this terrible game because Ben told me to. So
Yeah, it's only right.
might as well do a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Last question I have for you here. You are able to add one more location that Joker can travel to on the world map. Where and what skill does it improve?
Now, see, this was really hard for me because you can go so many places as Joker. The whole city is sort of
Sure, it's a tough question.
It's sort of your oyster. I guess the one place that I would love for Joker to be able to go is to the clothing store.
You
can't go to a
that's
clothing
a good
store?
Point.
Can't buy new clothes for
That's
Joker.
so weird. Yeah.
And I really wish that I could like make Joker's style my own, because that would have, I don't know, I would love to dress up Joker. I just feel like it would have made my rebellious heart even more rebellious.
I think it would have been interesting if, like, there was a place that Joker could, like, get away from it all and, like, kind of be in solitude and, like, take time to himself. Because there's nowhere really like that to me.
Even the baths are crowded.
Or, like, I don't know, you could go out, like, there's, like, a nice dock on some water somewhere. You can just, like, sit and just reflect, you know, and maybe it increases your intelligence because you're taking time to contemplate things.
Yeah.
And everything is just so crazy and flashy in this game. It'd be nice to just, like, take a moment to yourself, maybe leave Morgana at home.
Yeah.
In your backpack at home.
How dare you?
Yeah. I know. Obviously it wouldn't happen. But
And I was just gonna say that it would be interesting to have Joker go to improv class, and he could go through the levels at like Magnet, and then at the very end,
spend a lot of yen on classes.
so much, so much. And then it maxes out something really weirdly localized, like your wisdom or something, or like your culture.
Yeah,
like,
that's right, exactly.
Unclear, like, how that's applicable to, maybe it applies to, like, you know, anything. Maybe it's good for lots of different things, and you can open up more dialogue options if you have, like, cool improv things to say.
And then, like, an agent sees you and, like, wants to maybe put you in a commercial, but then he just puts on in.
Oh, obviously.
yeah.
That is the extension of that. But in closing, Persona 5, fine game. Play it if you want.
I'm gonna play it again. I'm not even kidding.
No, I'm sorry. Persona 5, 110, 15 hours of pure, it will change your life. It will.
Yeah. It sucked me in a way that a game has not in a very long time, in a different way than I don't know if a game ever has, in a way, where it's just like, I gotta just one more day before I turn it off. I gotta just do one more day. hanging with my friends, you know, and
Even more than other RPGs, it is another life that you will live.
Yeah, I'm just feeling really defensive right now.
Wow, this conversation made you...
Yeah, I think it made me unpack something that I didn't really understand, which is that, like, I didn't really enjoy playing it.
it's funny because it was your idea for us to play this game.
It was
in the first
Ben's
place.
idea for us to play this game.
Right, but you took what he said and you were like, Owen,
Exactly.
Yeah.
My
you gotta
coworkers-
download this game.
Yeah, I trust
People
his
say
opinion.
stuff to me all the time, you know? People recommend things
Well,
to me all
is
the
it
time.
an RPG?
Yes.
Is it a JRPG?
Yes.
So, I mean, that sounds like something I would enjoy. I
Right.
think.
Right.
So in theory, yeah. Look, there's plenty of stuff that did touch me. We've been open about that.
Okay. So aside from you not understanding time,
It's not that I don't understand time.
I always thought it was very straightforward in this
very,
game.
not.
very
Like,
explained
you
multiple
literally every day
times.
you see the calendar, you know.
Yeah, and it's like...
Some
yeah.
some days you're interacting in class, some days you're not. It just skips right by that. You don't even see it. Bullshit. Too confusing.
That's true.
But-
You don't go to class. You don't see class every day.
And like on a whim,
Yeah.
just like today we're not doing that. That's one
But
thing
then
we're
you
not
just
doing.
so you skip to after school instead of
I was
after
afraid to
school.
go to the library. The library,
Why?
Aaron, because I was like, is that going to take up time that I could be doing something else?
Yes.
Well,
if you read a book,
well,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Do something there.
You don't have
What?
to. You can just go and pick up a book for later.
Yeah.
No,
You
no.
can study there.
What I'm saying is this game tricked me, and I feel like it tricked me.
How much of this is that you hate Lady on?
Almost all of it.
Okay.
No.
You love the game otherwise.
No!
You don't?
No, I don't think I love the game.
Oh.
I think that I like it, and I think that there are really affecting things in it. And like lines that I will never forget, and things that were really endearing, and it was unlike anything I'd ever seen physically before.
Sure.
But is it overall like did the experience like really move me? Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's not my style. I think it's just not my style.
Interesting.
You know? It's funny and endearing, but not enough. Not in the ways that I think are lasting.
Okay, so Persona 5, not enough.
Persona 5,
Enough.
5 stars out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know this was the way this recording was going to go. I have a lot of glowing praise.
This never
And-
goes how I think it's going to
Yeah,
I
right?
know.
Me either.
Never.
I have nothing in my notes that is like, man, I hate this game. But just in talking through some of the different moments within it, I realized it made me like very uncomfortable, very afraid of how I spent my time, constantly second guessing and questioning my decision making. That's not a good experience.
Will you promise that when you find the game, if you haven't already, that does the thing that you feel like Persona doesn't do?
Yeah.
Will you tell us?
It's called Pillars of Eternity, and we'll review it soon. It's the greatest game ever.
Wow.
Not a fan so far. And that's not bullshit.
stay tuned for
No, not bullshit. Not a fan.
Stay tuned for that one, because
Yeah.
that one's going to be...
That's gonna be
I don't know if I'm going to get halfway through it, so there might not ever be an episode about
like-
PoE. Or if there is, I won't be on it.
I feel like that episode might include an actual fight between Ben Burkett and Herschel. Herschel!
Yeah. He's going to come out with his yarmulke and a laka in his pocket.
He won't be able to turn on appliances because it's...
Exactly, because it's
Saturday,
day of
yeah.
rest.
That's right.
Yeah. Again, I'm Jewish, so it's okay.
Well, it's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's all fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Great game.
Great game.
Fuck you.
Who am
Well, that's the end of this episode. What did you think, Jokers? Did you hate the people we hate? Did you date the people we date? Let us know on Twitter @ControllerPod. This time in 2 weeks, we'll be all over the Wolf Among Us, and we'll see you there. For real?